Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division video. What if you guys today is my MDR setup. If you guys didn't watch my video about 2-3 days ago, I posted a video on showing how you can get a MDR really easy and really simple. If you guys want, you guys can check that video out. It will be in the description below. But I'm going to show you guys the build I've been running with the MDR, and I really enjoy it. It's not your typical like MDR setup. It's a little bit different. I know you're supposed to use it with Firecrest, but me, I went with a different route and started using this weapon with something else. So I'm going to show you guys that today. I've been using this for PvP and PvE. Really enjoy it. You just melt NPCs, you just melt players if you can hit your shots. It's just overall really great build. And if you guys don't have an MDR, make sure to check that video out so you guys can get it yourselves. Anyways, we're going to check out the abilities first. So what I'm running currently is the booster shot and a tactical scanner pulse. Now this varies if I'm playing against a lot of players in the dark zone and the lobby is filled and there's just a lot of people going rogue and a lot of people just killing each other. I usually take out pulse and switch to a shock turret, and this is where this build becomes even better. But if I'm playing like Last Stand, or if I'm playing the Incursion or anything PvE wise, I always run a pulse because it's not too bad and it just makes killing the NPCs a bit more simple. But like I said, the booster shot and tactical scanner, you guys can go with overdose. It really depends on what kind of player you are. This build doesn't really have too much skill power, so having overdose isn't a bad idea. But I still get around 70,000 health every time I use my booster, which isn't too bad. And for the talents, what I'm rocking with is critical save, strike back, on the move, and steady hands. I pretty much use this on all my builds. Now, moving on to the main part is the build. So as you guys can see, I am currently sitting at 510,000 DPS, 345,000 toughness, and around 119,000 skill power. Now this is even better in Last Stand. Obviously everything gets normalized. But I'm going to go over my weapon first. So what I have on it is actually Deadly, Destructive, and Distracted. The one thing I wish this MDR had was maybe Competent or even Responsive instead of Destructive. Destructive is not too bad, especially for PvE, but for PvP, I wish I had something a little bit different. But you know what, it is what it is. It's a pretty good MDR overall, so that's why, I'm using it. As for the weapon mods, I went with everything critical hit damage and critical hit chance. Headshot damage isn't too bad on the MDR. If you are on PC, I would recommend going a bit into headshot damage. But if you tend to shoot the body a lot like myself, just go into critical hit damage. It's going to help you out. And for my submachine gun, I went with a MP5. I wanted something to pretty much finish players off and be versatile, like close quarters. If someone just comes in my face or whatever, I don't have to spray them with the MDR. I could switch to a submachine gun and kill them really quickly. Anyways, that's it for the weapons. Self-explanatory. As for the gear, I'm actually using something a bit different. As you guys can see, I have the Barracks chest. Now, shout out to my friend Freddy. We were grinding legendary missions. He got a decent drop and actually gave me the chest. This one is not a god roll or anything like that, but it's still pretty good. It has a firearms roll. It came with like, I think exotic damage resilience, skill haze, and an increased kill XP. I rolled all of exotic damage resilience, got 16,410 health, and also 8% skill haze, so the chest piece overall isn't bad. But the main reason I actually went with this chest piece is because of the skill power. As you guys can see, my skill power isn't really that high, and I wanted something to pretty much increase my heals even better, and without me using, a lot of skill power, without me using a lot of electronics. And thanks to this chest piece, my skills are a bit better, so that's why I am using it. Also, the damage increase is very nice as well. As for my gear mods on everything, I went with firearms and health, so that is that. Now moving on to the mask, I'm actually using Refreshed Mask. Once again, it helps your healing. It's really good. You guys can go with something like Pharaoh's Mask or whatever you want, even the Tenacious if you want to use it. But I prefer using the Refreshed Mask, and it also has critical hit chance, which is another plus. For the knee pads, as you guys can see, I'm using Predmark. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Why don't you have shortbow knee pads? Well, you can ask the game. The game hates me. I ran legendary missions a lot. I ran anything I possibly can. I opened a ton of exotic caches and still no shortbow knee pads. Hopefully I'll get them soon. Hopefully my luck can change a bit. But for now, I am using these knee pads. They come with stamina. The reason I rolled stamina is for destructive. Normally I would go with firearms or even electronics, but I had to run stamina, and I also have health, disorient resistance, and also damage to elites, which is really helpful in PvE. For the backpack, we have the Almighty Specialized Backpack. It has a firearms roll on it, 13,115 health, and also bleed resistance. The one thing I wish I could change about it was burn resistance instead of bleed resistance. For the gloves, we have the Skull MC gloves. The one thing that makes this build just really good are these gloves, and what I have on it is assault rifle damage, enemy armor damage, and critical hit damage with 1,232 firearms. If I could get critical hit chance instead of enemy armor damage, the build would be even better. But you know, it is what it is. I got pretty lucky anyways with these gloves, so I'll keep them. Last but not least, we have the sturdy holster. I really like using this one. If I'm playing PvE or something like Last Stand and I'm watching over someone, or I'm just pretty much in cover, my armor gets increased by 15%, and that's really helpful. Also, I have health as the major attribute and a first aid self-heal. So that's it for the gear and the weapon. As I said, I went with something a bit different. Normally, you would see people using Firecrest or something else, but I might make a build with Firecrest. But for now, I really like how this build works out, and I can just always throw a grenade and make the enemy bleed, or a shot grenade or whatever, and I also get an additional 18% damage increase, which is mind-blowing, and you just melt anyone you see in your way. The final two things I want to show you guys is my weapon damage and my health. So for the weapon damage, we are sitting at around 60,000 weapon damage, and that is without booster shot, that's without pulse, that's without having someone bleed or be shocked or anything like that. That's just my normal base damage. And as for the health, I'm sitting at around 237,441, which is pretty nice. Normally I run at like 220, 215, but having a bit more health is really useful, and you don't get melted by NPCs as fast as you normally would. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the build. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about this build. If you guys like it from what you've seen, if you guys don't, let me know some improvements I could make. Obviously, get the short bow knee pads. That's the #1 thing I have to do. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.